Well, you had your heart on your sleeves with that. That was absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
think the most amazing thing about it is the fact that you showed that you were in tune with each other physically. You were looking at each other, and that's half the job done. You know, there's a what the audience sees, the audience believes, right? So when you finished loudly and you went and played generally softer, job half done. But I think that possibly you could have a few more sound colours so that when you get to those amazing things, and you're showing that you're doing it, and I'm believing you, but if I actually had my eyes closed, it might be not quite as much as would be an absolute dream effect. So when you go, it's sometimes because you're looking at each other, bum, 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 and it's a beautiful sound, and it's less, but it's not sending me, you know, killing me and sending me to heaven. And this is all about life and death and memory and yearning and that. So the excitement's there. The power's there. My goodness, you're creaming it at the top there, and you're supporting her amazingly. But when you've got that and you change the character, even though the heartbeat's still there and he's still fed up and absolutely beside himself at the death of his sister, you know, you could remember there's some passion there and feeling and love and, oh, why, that sort of thing, and get a little bit more of that there, yeah? So this bowing is great, but occasionally with your flamboyant yum, ba-bum, once or twice, but I want to hear bum, ba-bum, you know, it's that sort of feel, and not always, you know, fireworks. I mean, there are some, and you did those brilliantly. So just do the opening phrase for me once until it repeats in the I don't know, it's about 20 bars, isn't it? So after dum ba da 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 dum bum ba da 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 dum bum bum bum, and then we'll stop you. So we'll stop here, which is about 20. No, sorry, from the beginning until.
Sorry.
But that was even better. That was an amazing start. That would have been. So, I think bar 9, before you go on, you've got to make that tell. Da-la-la-la-la-la-la-bum. That's possibly a bit too pyrotechnical. Young, really arrive somewhere. Yeah? And as you're following the mark, we've talked about in the previous quartet, but it's the 4th beat. So basically it's following the la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. And sometimes it sounds ya-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. It's like you're preempting it, and a little bit here. Da-da-da, you know, try and go to the 4th beat. It's more of this.
Sorry, yeah? I'm not convinced by this incredibly loud opening.
No.
This is piano.
It's a piano opening.
This whole opening is piano. After 5 bars, you get a sforzando, and you're playing it much softer than the first note you play, which is only marked forte, piano.
Yep.
So can we play the entire opening with no accents in the dynamic that's marked? So no loud notes, only the piano and then the progression with the crescendo to fortissimo. No accents. No accents. Let's keep that atmosphere. This is Mendelssohn, it's almost like Mendelssohn Fairies kind of music, isn't it? Except it's got this added anguish, which is that it's based on the death of his sister, and it's angry and turbulent, but it's not violent. And this little forte piano at the beginning is just that. It's a whoa, like a pew, pew, pew. So try it much less on the forte, much more on the piano. No, why not just in the middle of the bow? Just where you are, but with more, with a little. So playing piano. Right, and now just give it an extra. Yeah, you don't need to start here and give a great big down bow.
Yes, you could do it slightly more with the bow length rather than the grit, possibly. That was so exciting, that crescendo to the big chord at the top. And
Fantastic.
then we were discussing this with the other quartet, same question. You can decide what you want in the end, but worth thinking about the bowing on the, because you have a sforzando, yeah, baba, but you don't. And you're all doing the same sforzando at the moment. So maybe up, up, down for you.
Yeah, we're actually thinking the opposite, because I do up, up.
Yes.
So it's more with an
Yes.
impetus of the
Yeah.
up bow.
That's maybe, but does that mean you want the others to do down bows?
It sounds very down, da down from you. It sounds quite heavy.
Well, it would be great if you passed it around the quartet. Yum, ba bum, bum, ba bum, bum, ba bum, bum, ba bum, rather than bum, ba bum, bum, ba bum.
Apart from anything else, it's the fact that it's the same note. That you know, if it went dum da dum, like I could almost live with the down up down, but this dum da dum is the same note. It's like, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of those down up downs.
Also, it means you can sort of move before you play. I mean, you're up anyway because of where you are, but then rather than
And everyone give yourself
Move
a
before,
lead. We were
yeah.
talking about that earlier as well.
It's all great, but you see, bar 9. That has a word. At the moment, I'm hearing, and I am going to, or you know, whatever the words are. I hear words, and then I just hear a kind of chord, just where I want the main word.
the whole orchestra plays on that note.
It's not just a chord. It's vocal.
Are you from
So it should be
bar 6?
bum. It's a little bit too short and a bit too chordal as opposed to an actual lyrical thing.
Because then you'll hear that interval C, D flat. If you really hear that pitch.
Great.
Go from bar 6 maybe?
But remember that opening, that was absolutely
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yep.
Much more scary like that actually.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I don't. Do you have any accents written apart from your last 4 crotchets?
No.
Because you're playing dum ba ba, yum ba ba, ya da da dum pum 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 pum. The whole thing, even though you're now playing a different bowing, it's still quite vertical.
Yeah.
It's like 4 columns, which are very, very good. But maybe it could be more like a
And also, I'm hearing, is that through to the, all the way through to that note.
Yeah.
Don't disappear.
Maybe those notes could be a tad longer.
Yeah. More like an expressive accent.
You know, like what Ian was saying earlier, you know, isn't this it's real heart on the sleeve stuff, right? Isn't it? There's no, it's not angular, it's like that. It's not, it's not stabbing, it's not, it should be, Open-hearted.
Maybe this D flat. All of you have these 3 D flats, yum ba bum, and then it happens. First violin, second and violin viola, first violin, cello. It happens 4 times. So in a way, it's keeping it up in the air, isn't it? It's not resolving. Yum ba da 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 for ages, bum bum bum, and finally it's released with your bar. So you just need to keep it going.
Do you want to take it straight from your
Yeah.
solo?
Try moving before you play. You're waiting until it's time to do it. Be more impatient. And how about playing up on your... Yeah. But it should be like that game with hands, you know, where you keep piling them up. At the moment, I feel that you're slightly waiting politely for each other to finish. I think you could be more headlong.
This bowing is making it do this. So
It's not good.
why not just as it comes?
Yep.
It's really cutting
Can I ask you a
up the
question
music
about
terribly.
whether you've discussed
So just play as it comes.
whether these are the same. Phrasing. Yum ba da 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 dum bum bum ba da 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 dum bum bum ba, because these two are obviously different in the sense that this does the crescendo and then you've got the special moment there. But how do you think of the middle one? Da 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 da. Is it da 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 dum bum ba da 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 dum? I'm exaggerating. Or da ya da 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 yum. Choose one, or someone say something else. But at the moment, they're sounding like 3 2-bar phrases that they're not quite feeding off each other. It's just da 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 bum ba da 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 bum ba da, because you're going to do something different on that one because of the crescendo. So one answers the other, one complements the other, one grows from the other.
I think answers. The second
Okay.
one answers the
So,
even though there are
yeah.
3 instruments playing.
So it's a little bit that for the second one, and the third one's going to go there. And then, can we have that communication that you showed and make a really special sound for the key change?
And I think, if possible, can you just play that? What bar is that? Is it 30? Can you two play 30 together? Da, ba, da. 1, 2. Da, 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 da. Now, see, hear how lovely and warm that is. Can you match that even though you have an open string? Just somehow. Try to, because it's sounding a bit like this is just an open C. What can I do with it? Try to somehow emulate the warmth she's getting. You can even put some vibrato on the upper C. Anything. It's just very
before that
bland.
moment, just going back a few bars, you've got your fortissimo and crescendo to that next huge chord, da 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 dum, and then dum ba bum. And at the moment, I don't even really hear a crotchet rest. It's you all stay where you are in the bow, and you do then play quietly, and it's very good. But I don't feel a huge shock. Da 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 dum. If I were playing it, and then maybe I'd change the place in the bow rather than yum bum, ba, ba. I don't think that upbeat is a result of the downbeat. I think it's a new thing.
You have to make a decision whether or not you think that the change in atmosphere or colour or whatever happens at the end of the first crotchet or the second. You know, dum, change, rest, dum, da, dum, or dum, and then. I mean, just talk about this, and once you try something, you'll all feel that, oh, that works for us. You know, it's just a way of approaching it. It's not one's right or the other. You can, but make a special sound. Few bars before
Shall we
that?
try and move on a bit? Because we spent a lot of time on this passage earlier, even though you weren't here. I think we need to move on to some other material.
Yeah, you should have started at the coda.
Do you want to go? Just move on to the next crescendo. Oh, in fact, let's play this passage, but let's not stop on it. So 23 or 22.
22.
Yeah. Syncopation has to keep going.
Yeah.
Don't change it.
Yeah.
And it's slightly getting behind, so the syncopation function is to push things along. So not to be holding it back. And I think it's a shame if you stop doing it after 3 bars, after 2 bars. Why?
And I think there's an outburst. Sorry.
Why?
Playing them absolutely beautifully, but these. This is an outburst. You can't go.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm exaggerating. Don't. Yeah. So, otherwise, this becomes a settle. You've had this slightly calmer thing, and now this is the emotion coming back. The outpouring of grief.
Can we keep the impetus going as well, all the way through to where the cello gets that syncopation? So, you're climbing a roller coaster, and then you're coming down the other side. So, but it felt a little bit static before that. If we go from that 41.
This rhythm's getting very slow.
Yeah. Everything's getting a bit slow. And don't you think this, sorry Paul, but you know, da 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 da. That's sort of feeling, not da da da.
Don't forget it's dum da dum dum da 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 da. It's the same. It's that rhythm.
Yeah, isn't it anxious almost? This.
Yeah, it's like.
moment?
So don't lose the beauty of expression that you've got, but there can be more anxiety as well.
And you're playing it so beautifully, but I think the one bar that I think I said this before to the other group, but la da 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 yum bum bum ba da 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 it da 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 dum da 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 da. I mean, that's the payoff. That's the one that you should be trying, and it's not as nice to play where it's just the same note or bum 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 ba, but the accompaniment. That's the yearning bit, isn't it? The other one's more.
Go from the. What do you want
Syncopation.
to? Yeah.
Oh, sorry. You forgot that bowing.
No, sorry, yeah.
That's okay. Just don't get behind as well.
When Jackie demonstrated, she didn't accent the bow changes so much. It was more wah 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 wah, rather than pa pam pam pam.
Yeah,
Maybe
it
you
feels
could
a bit
try that.
Heavy.
Actually, you can start from beat.
Suggest it's so beautiful what you're doing, but just here, I think this is the end of the exposition section, and I think it's the goodbye section rather than the hello section. So it's like a memory rather than It was very beautiful, don't get me wrong, but I wonder if it could just be kind of playing out so that it gradually, and then it repeats. But I felt that it was so intense that it sounded like a new beginning.
Your bow control's excellent on these your
Yeah,
solo
super.
notes.
I don't
So.
It doesn't feel like that, but
Oh, it's really good. Well done.
And the people, I mean, as the others were saying, the people playing dum ba dum ba bum, I feel still a little bit stuck.
Yeah.
Dum ba bum ba bum ba bum ba ba. Particularly when you have a crescendo written, if this is the same in your parts, it's a different edition.
What's actually beautiful about it is it goes to a solo note. You're making a crescendo, and then only one person hits the place you're arriving, and it's quite an amazing effect. But if you keep it sluggish, that effect doesn't come across.
There's a sort of urgency about it. Yeah.
It's lovely.
Probably one of the
Then
few
it's
times
still-
you're allowed to do a crescendo.
Would you like to go from there, where I don't have bar numbers here, but where viola plays repeated A flats and the rest of you have the dotted rhythm together?
the first time.
The first time, yeah.
And when we get to it, when we get to the turn of the opening music, just keep that very soft accent as you did so effectively at the beginning.
And let's remember yum ba ba yum da dum ba bum ba bum, and maybe start in that sort of tempo.
This should last a half a bar. So 2, 1, off.
Did you play a G for that?
2, 1, off. You're just playing
Did you play a B flat?
basically one note there.
Here, yeah.
No, I mean, did you play that note?
Yes.
I heard something strange in that chord.
Oh, I might have, yeah, sorry.
No, I just wanted to check.
That was lovely. I like the idea of it being the farewell music,
Yeah.
farewell exposition, rather than something developing.
Yes, I mean, you don't need to be ruthless about it, but it just felt as we could trust where you were going, and then suddenly there's a shock.
And also after the da ba da ba da ba da ba da ba bam bam, you could come in a little bit sooner with your you three, your entry. It seems to get suspended. I know it is like a suspended note, but don't leave her hanging forever. It's there's somewhere that we're
offbeat,
going.
isn't it?
Yes.
It's an offbeat, that entry.
Two, do, 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 do.
Yeah. So you shouldn't think, bum, dum,
Down.
but bum.
Shall we go to the development now?
Yes.
So where the forte piano is again?
Can I just... sorry, this will probably sound terrible because I'm cold, but the way of playing this dotted rhythm, it sounds very warm, but I'm not feeling a sense of urgency from it, particularly here. And I think it might be something, sorry, I've also got a microphone and no shoulder rest, but the bow speed, I feel that the bow is going and then slowing down. And how about, so not, so the bow goes faster and then rather than, so slightly less fruitiness on the quaver and more ba-bam, so it belongs to the next note. Could you just do in unison, just on a B flat, just for the sake of it? Let's do a few of those together. Just whatever.
Any
yeah.
note.
For me, I like it, but it's a bit civilized. So can you just all do ba-bam? Again? note. Ba-bam. Once more. More urgent. Yeah.
Nice.
And now you did a great lead. Ba-ba. And now do that with a note. Yum, ba-ba. I would put the quaver even a tiny bit later. Yum, ba-ba. Maybe that's too far the other way. But I don't know. I mean, what does anyone
I think
else
that's
think?
the right. It's absolutely true. It was a little bit flaccid, that
Yeah.
rhythm.
So the bow speed needs to increase during the dotted crotchet.
Maybe it was too measured. We paid too much
Yeah.
importance to them.
I mean, it was very warm. Yum pa bum, but yum pa bum. Not to dum pa bum, nothing like that. But the direction, particularly when you're taking over from each other. I'm hearing this kind of fruitiness in the middle of the bar. I think it could be more raw somehow.
Try it together from this bar. 110, is it?
111?
11?
Well, 10 for me.
10, yeah.
You need to move before you move. Not. Yeah?
I mean, this is just because he didn't get around to getting the markings in it. But these markings don't sort of make sense, do they? I mean, you're supposed to be playing forte the entire time. You have a forte piano and the three others, and then we won't hear your three quavers. And at the moment, it just sounds like you decided the second part of the phrase, da, 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 you know, when you go into the major bit,
What
it's
is
just
it?
a little bit less. It's just like you haven't made a conscious, positive decision. So I would make it a shock and bewildering, or really do the first one strident and you play a bit more, because you, obviously they should balance a little bit, and then do something different, but make some, at the moment it just sounds like undecided, like you're not really sure which
Isn't
one
it
and
just
who
4 bars
to
of
follow.
forte and 4 bars of piano? Is it that?
No.
Oh, sorry. So,
No, first violin's
So
forte, all
I
forte
see.
the entire time.
Wow.
Yeah.
So,
didn't realise that.
so everyone's sort of accommodating the fact that that's a little bit loud, and obviously she's playing a bit
Yeah.
less because she's feeling that no one's playing loud enough.
Yeah.
And you probably know exactly what they've got, but have
Interesting.
some courage to make a decision and what works for you. It really, do it different both times, or I don't know. You know, it's a
I'm
shock.
just not
isn't it?
sure that you can that you can keep playing da 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 da.
Are you breaking? Okay.
Even if you do that bowing, make
I mean,
it
you know,
sound more legato.
even here, like, I think it is dee da da da. I'm not sure that you should play da 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 da. Don't think it's.
Just as an experiment, suggest something really weird and stupid. I just need to, because I have no bar numbers, I need to see where we are. Yeah, so could you just play 4 bars from the middle of 1, 8, 9, from the middle of 110, pizzicato, and stop after 4 bars. So it's going to be, just, you know, play exactly what you've got, but pizzicato, because that's going to highlight what the rhythm really is. But do your phrasing and everything, so all of you together from... Can you do that again and make it flow through, even though you can't sustain with the bow? Yum, ba bum, ba 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 bum, ba 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 bum. There's still some hesitation. Still some hesitation. Just do it again. Yeah, it needs to have
nice.
all the way through. And now try with bows. And don't let the bow get in the way of the rhythm. You're waiting before you play. You're waiting before you play. I'm going to do my metronome pizzicato with you as you play. That's it. Now without me getting in the way.
I think it would help if you all grow through the tied minim. To stop this da 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 da. You started your crescendo a little bit too soon, didn't you? And maybe you could slightly, because it's pianissimo, and there hasn't really been any pianissimo yet, has there? It's a very precious moment, slightly led by kind of a theme in the cello, but mirrored by you two. It feels as if you're not really reacting to what she's doing, you're just playing a really luscious version of this rhythm.
Could we just have from 129 without the first violin?
Yeah. Again, led by the cello if you can.
But cello needs to lead more. Imagine you're playing timpani. Bom, ba, bom.
Better.
That's it with a, with an obligato.
Yeah.
Could you two be an answering timpani? Bom, ba, bom. I'm hearing la la.
Yeah. It's a bit thick.
Yeah. Beautiful but thick.
By the way, that suggestion I made of dam ba da ya da 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 can work as long as you start the note. So it can't be dam ba da da. It was a bit over the top. But shall we do this place now with everybody?
Yeah, sorry, but
That's
you're
nice.
playing later than the violin, than the first violin.
That's
Dom,
very nice.
ba, bom.
That's
No,
good.
but
Yeah.
it's good.
It's a bit more energy.
No,
Yeah.
Energy.
no, they should listen to you. Dadim.
So sorry
Fantastic.
to stop you. Right there is suddenly unison.
Yeah.
Suddenly. So you've been going dun 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 dun, and then suddenly it's bam bam bam. The entire group, yeah. It needs to be maybe telegraphed a little bit. Like if we could just go back, could we go from there, for example? Would that be all right?
Or at least an SMS.
Or where's good? There. What about there?
148.
Okay, you
It's
do a
your-
lovely,
it's your
you do a
moment.
lovely phrasing. Let's call it a very delicate little writ into this bit that you just arrived at, and then you stay slower. And it would be so if you go
A little bit more espressivo.
you know, and kept it loving.
Much sooner, I think, than it's marked in this score.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Only the last
incredibly. It's less than a bar to get from forte to piano. It's almost like a subito piano.
Right. That was better, that bowing, I thought.
Yeah.
Da-da-da-da.
And
Very
it was
good.
better when you did the bowing that I came to, when you were doing the down of downs, and it was all fitting. That was much better. The second time I think
I was
you were
trying
making it up.
different
Yeah, it was good. It was good. It was good.
I'd love if
But-
the moment at... Oh, sorry, Ian. We not
But,
finished.
yeah, no.
The bar of the climax just before this quiet music comes back. 170, what is that? 71. Everybody suddenly ba 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 ba. It's maybe not everyone has that, but it's it's got to be a release, and I felt as if it suddenly came back at that point. That bar should almost be the biggest.
And when you finished all of that, before you get to yum, ba-dum, and you know I was talking about what is that rest? I think the way you play it makes me feel that you're thinking it the wrong way. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-dum. So, you know, dum, bum, bum, bum. So wait for the rest in your brain to have happened before you go on. Because at the moment, I'm just feeling a bit sort of,
And by the way, I feel that the way you're playing bam, ba, bam is absolutely appropriate for this music. And it doesn't need, and it feels just right. But I feel that you're playing it that way also when the music is more urgent. You're playing it in that same lyrical way, and I think there could be more variety in the way that you play that dotted rhythm.
Yeah.
So I just realised that, you were playing it like that before as well.
Did I felt a little bit at 179, it got a little bit lightweight. It started going to a place where I didn't feel quite right.
Where's that?
179.
dum,
I don't know.
dum, dum,
Yeah, it
Yeah.
sort of got a little bit, felt a little bit jaunty or
Well,
something.
I think maybe
What
if
you
you
learn
don't
into
do that bone,
Yeah, that's what I was
legato,
thinking.
not
Yeah.
not
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
do the bone he's marked, I think.
Where do we go?
Okay. Oh, what a shame.
Maybe
Can
we
I just say one general thing about your approach to the stage? This happens quite a lot. We only had 1 hour, and you spent the first 4 minutes tuning, and you'd been standing out there for a while. Couldn't you have tuned before you came out?
It sounded like you had, so why
Yeah.
did you do it again?
Yeah. So, especially for when it's a performance, let the audience be the first thing that they hear, be music, not tuning.
Yeah.
Because it's
Yeah.
really...
It's overrated. Because what happens when you're in bar 87? The instrument might not be bang in tune by then, especially if you're hammering it, So,
And it takes a while for instruments to respond to change of temperature or strong lights. So if you walk out and tune, they're still going to respond to the difference of humidity or whatever. So
I think tuning on stage is for absolute emergencies.
Yes.
but thank you very much
Yeah.
for your
Yeah.
approach.
Yeah.
Amazing.